Yo, what's going on? Patrick here with Number One Contractors, Number One Fence. In this video, I want to talk about how I was just talking to a new client that has been stuck in and around 800 grand a year for the past 3 years. What ads they were running and why they were kind of like stuck in the same place, and what they're doing now differently, or more about what we do a little bit differently and how we actually help clients break through that and get to 2 million a year or 3 or 4 and above. How our service works, because a lot of people have some confusion of what is it that we actually do on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. So I'll go over that. Also, some things we're doing to target high income areas and how we're improving our product and service as far as like, when people start to run ads, getting those leads that are actually qualified and have the income in their household to be able to afford the product or service. So I'll go through some of that. Some new low ticket offers that we just started to implement and offer, and why we started to do that. And then also like where we're at as a company and what's going on with us and where we're heading, and some of the problems or challenges maybe that we're dealing with, and what we're looking to do here in the future to grow the company. So number one, with the 100K a year, and if you see me look down, I'm looking at some notes here. Number one, these guys were at 800 grand a year for the past 3 years. What they were doing was running ads for all services. So they offer fences, right? But then they also do like pergolas or concrete or foundations and all kinds of stuff. Like basically all kinds of exterior services for a home, right? And what they were doing was spending like 25 bucks a day on all services and just kind of like spraying and praying. And then also something that they didn't do, which by the way, this is a little hack. If your Google business profile is not verified with an address, you will literally, like, we work with clients, we work with contractors all over the country, right? We see how many calls every contractor gets. The contractors that have their address verified on their Google business profile literally get 3 to 4 or 5 times as many calls as the ones who don't. It's crazy. Like, that's it. Because Google wants to see you're a verified, legitimate business, like with your address. So that's number one. Like, they didn't have their address. Number two, any meta ads that were running like on Facebook and Google, their budget was 25 bucks a day for, or I think it was actually less than that, like 20, 15, 20 bucks a day. But they were spending about, let's say like 700 bucks a month, but they're like targeting all these different services. When you're first starting, especially with that budget, you want to niche down and only target like the specific service that you do the most of. So like fence or concrete or, something along those lines, like very, very niche specific, because that's the budget that you need to like actually get results is more like 25 bucks a day between like Facebook and Instagram just for one service. If you try and spread it across multiple, it's not going to work. So just putting it all into one service, and then also, like I said, having a Google business profile verified with an address, you can get from like the services that we offer. We help people get from 500 grand to over 1 million a year with Facebook and local service ads. When you start to add Google pay per click, that's when you can get to 1 million a year to 2 million a year. And because you have your address verified with Google, when you start to spend there and you have a team that actually has that system locked in, which is more about what we do, and I'll get into that here in a second, that's how you're actually able to capture more people that are picking up their phone and saying, hey, I want, XYZ service. I want to do fence. I want concrete. I want whatever it is. And are calling you. And you're getting more of that those people are at the bottom of the funnel, like they're basically ready to move forward, versus on Facebook you're saying, hey, stop scrolling, click here. That's like interruption marketing, which is more volume, because you can't spend more money to get more people to pick up their phone and search on Google, right? There's already only so many of those people that are searching, right? There just is. That market's there. There's really no way to create more people picking up their phone to search unless you're penetrating the market with Facebook and Instagram ads. Make sense? So like you're saying, hey, stop scrolling, click here. So there's pros and cons to both. With Google, it could be a little bit tougher to spend more to make more, which is why like local service ads will cap out at a certain point. And straight up, we spend, so our services is $297 a week plus the ad spend for local service ads and Facebook ads. That's how you can go from 500 grand a year to over $1 million. Over $1 million to 2 is adding for $397 a week Google pay per click. And that's where you can really dial in and get more calls to drive more traffic to get more sales, right? And then SEO is where you really dominate the local market. That's where we only work with one company per market. That's $697 a week. And you need like $1,000 a week in advertising spend. So that's like a big package and stuff. I would just start with, if you're trying to get from 500 to over $1 million, the $297 a week, and then go from there. But that leads into what we do. What we do, you know, somebody was asking and trying to understand how Facebook ads work. It's very similar. What we do is very similar to you installing a fence or you installing concrete or whatever it is that you do, your product and service. Could somebody go and install their own fence? Sure. Are they going to pay you to do it, who's an expert, who does it all day, every day? Yes. To have the peace of mind to just know it's going to get done the right way? Yes. Same thing with us. We're a service-based business. So we have a system that works every time to help companies grow. If they call the leads and follow up and do the things, all the companies that follow our process and just take our advice as far as helping people get from 500 grand a year to over $1 million, to $1 million to over 2 million, and then 3 million and above, is just following the process and then dialing in Facebook, Google ads, and all that kind of stuff on search engine optimization, all that good stuff. But what we actually do is you have to constantly refresh the creatives, the videos, all the stuff that you're using. Number one, you have to set up the targeting, which is what we've done more recently, is starting to just target high-income households. So before, what we would do is just set up the campaign and just let it run in the area to generate leads and get the momentum going, right? What ends up happening every single time is they're like, hey, can you try and like narrow it down to only get like people that have that household, like people that actually have the money. So there's a way on Facebook to target people that already make over 100 grand a year. So we just, instead of like doing that later, we just moved that to the beginning and just started doing that straight up front. But what we do is when you create a campaign, you create what's called an ad set. And there's different ways to do the ad sets. There's different ways to run the ads. So we test, you can group like a bunch of pictures and videos together and then run them all. And then Facebook's algorithm and AI will actually push out, I mean, algorithm is AI, it's like the same thing. It will push out the best performing ones automatically, or you can do it one by one, monitor it and kill the campaigns that don't work. What we do every week, we have a call to look over the we look at all the ad accounts every day, but then week to week, we look at any accounts that go above a certain threshold. Usually it's $30 cost per lead. More recently, we've moved that up to like $35, $40 because with so much more competition, that's like the average cost per lead is like $35, $40. Once it goes above that, we kill the campaign and restart it. And then we have to reach out to the client, talk about all the different offers that we have. So like for example, for fence specifically, because we mainly work with fence companies, a lot of the offers we have are like a free gate with a new install, some kind of financing offer, some kind of influencer program. I mean, we have so many different offers that we can suggest to the client. Really what makes the thing work the best is like the clients that have the most success with us are the ones that send over the most videos, the most pictures, the most creatives, to continue to keep uploading them, because that's what it comes down to. The more of that kind of stuff that you can test out into the market, the more leads that you're going to generate and the more bang you're going to get for your buck. So what we do is continue to keep uploading those with the right targeting, manage and maintenance the campaigns every day to make sure the cost per lead doesn't reach over a certain threshold. Once it does, kill the campaign and then restart them. And then we consult with our clients based off what we've seen to work for all of our other clients over the years to then create a campaign that works. Also, we provide, we have plenty of pictures and videos that work. Another thing that we're incorporating is adding like a selfie style video. The more that it just looks like a contractor with a phone, and it's just very like organic and it doesn't feel like an advertisement, the better it works. So we advise our clients to do those. Okay, why did we start to offer hopefully that makes sense, by the way, with how our service works. Also, we have like Google pay-per-click dialed in, and we have a system that works where we create landing pages that we drive traffic to with different offers, that when people click on Google, like we get you basically more real estate on Google between doing organic local service ads and Google pay-per-click. And between the three of those, the more that you can really, pay-per-click is where you can spend more on Google and scale more. Like the companies that we work with that want to fill up their calendars with leads that come from ads and are doing 10, 15, 20 million a year, they spend a ton of money on, I'm talking around like $1,000 a day on Google pay-per-click. That's how, and well, I've talked to so many clients and companies that they try to spend more money on Google pay-per-click and they don't get more. Like, for example, we started working with a company in Akron, Ohio, Acme Fence. They came to us, they were trying to spend more on Google pay-per-click. They literally couldn't. They couldn't get more leads. They were spending more, but they couldn't get more leads for what they were spending. They signed up with us. They had 5 crews. Their goal was to add a couple crews. They went from 5 crews to 8 crews in less than 2 months because we literally, we cut their lead into a third of what they were spending before. So they could actually get more calls of people that were legitimate. And at the same time, ran that interruption marketing with like Facebook and Instagram in conjunction with Google, right? So this way it drives the company, which by the way, you want to do both. And real quick, which brings me into the low ticket thing and why we started doing that. If you're not up and running on Google, our service does not really work for you. Like, we've had people sign up in the past and we're like, all right, do the Google verification video, do the video, do the video, do the video. And people don't do it. Like, guys, Google makes you do a verification video where you're in person. Like, if we had the resources to fly somebody out and do the verification video for you, we would. But it's like, it's got to be you in the video anyway. It's got to be at your address, right? Like, you have to do the video. Like, I wish there was another way around that, but with Google, that's the way it works. So because of that, instead of, like, because we do charge a couple $1,000 a month to get or a couple $1,000 and then it's weekly payments up front to get going. The thing is that if you're not doing, like if you don't have a Google business profile and you're trying to run Facebook or Instagram ads, people, like, I was just talking to a guy yesterday. He tried to run Facebook ads. He got nothing. I said, well, because a lot of times people will Google your company. If you don't show up, you're cooked. And he's like, yeah, that actually did happen. That happens all the time. So you have to have a Google business profile verified with reviews before you start running like Facebook and Instagram ads. Can we get you leads on Facebook and Instagram without you having a Google business profile? Yes. Is it effective long term? Not as effective as having a Google business profile, which again, we were learning as we went on, and then we realized, like, why don't we create like a lower ticket for a couple $100 a month where somebody can sign up. We'll build them a website. We'll guide them on how to get the Google business verification. And then once they do, then, we can start to run ads. But then this way we can get them started. We can help them just get some calls coming in, get them established on Google, get them some reviews. And eventually, local service ads is basically kind of like puts you in a pool of the rest of the contractors in your local market. And it's like a round robin thing. Like, they just kind of push they just kind of like, they will prioritize people that have bigger ad budgets and are targeting more areas, obviously, because the bigger market, the cheaper the cost per lead. But like, you have to have, more reviews to get more calls, and you have to keep getting reviews. Google wants to see you engage with their platform, and they reward you with leads. It's basically the way it works. Okay, so that's why we started to offer lower ticket packages. We even have, so now we have 5 different packages. We have one for $97 to build a website and then get you this estimating tool that we just created for exterior contractors. Number 2 is $297 a month. And then this way we get you started with getting local service ads and getting optimized on Google. GEO and SEO, like getting like for search like on ChatGPT, Google, getting optimized on all those platforms to drive more phone calls coming in. Then once you're like, okay, I'm getting as many as I can get, like now I want to spend more, I want to get more. That's when we move to $297 a week, and we include Facebook and Instagram ads. And then if you wanted to grow, that's for companies that want to go from like 500 grand a year to over $1 million a year. Once you're like stuck in and around $1 million, then you want to focus on one niche and spend about $50 a day. I would say actually at this price point, it's $100 a day on ad spend, and then it's $397 a week for us to manage everything, and then you include Google Pay per click. Okay. Beyond that, once you want to get to like 3 million a year and above, then it's $697 a week plus $1,000 a month in ad spend. That's like the biggest package that we have. That's when we dominate the area with you, and from there can help you grow. And we just introduced the lower packages so we can help more people in the market. Honestly, we should have done it a long time ago. We just didn't even realize that as like an option. So I'm glad that we started to do that so we can help more contractors and obviously make more money. Like we want to grow as a company. So it's a win-win all the way around. Also, where we're at as a company, we've been stuck in and around the same place, you know, speaking of that, for the past couple of years. And ironically, it's because we've been targeting only fence. So we did what we needed to do to get to around $1 million a year. And where we've been stuck is only working with fence companies. Like we've tried to grow and scale it and push. And no matter what we do or how much we spend, it's like the market's only so big. And so now we're expanding into doing other exteriors like roof, land clearing, which, by the way, the backstory of our company, I started with my business partner who's been running ads for contractors for all different clients like roofers and remodelers and all different kinds of things since 2014. Me and him linked up in 2022. He signed up for a program that I had helping marketing agencies get more clients because I had worked underneath of a guy that had an agency, and then he would also teach other people. And then I just started, you know, developing a following because I was, you know, helping him get clients. And then me and Naomi met, and then I saw how he was able to keep and retain clients because his service works. Like his Google pay per click works. His SEO works. The stuff he has on Google works, and that's really what helps us keep and retain clients because they're continuing to get tons of calls. And it's a win-win all the way around. So that's when, you know, I partnered with him in around 2022, and we worked with all contractors when we first started. And we niched down just like how I'm suggesting to you guys to niche down and just work with one service. But once you do that for a certain amount of time in our industry or space, or the way it works with us, for us to go from, you know, $1 million to 2 and 3 million, it definitely is expanding into other niches. And so that's where we're at, and that's where we're heading. So hopefully all this makes sense. Hopefully all this is helpful. And if you guys have any comments or questions or anything like that, comment below. If you're interested in our services or anything like that, comment below. I'll reach out, see how we can help. But mainly who we're servicing and targeting is exterior contractors. Our systems that work for fence will work for land clearing, concrete, roofing, seal coating, all the different services, because it's the psychology around the ads that we're running that gets leads coming in. And it's what we know how to do on different platforms and the systems that we have for certain keywords and everything like that, taking the same thing that we do. Now, we know fence the best for sure. And taking the same systems that we're using for fence and using it for concrete, land clearing, roofing, seal coating, artificial turf, all those things, we're able to get results for those niches as well. So if you're in one of those niches and you're looking to grow this year, comment below, and we'll talk to you soon. Any questions or comments or concerns, put in the comments below. I'd love to help, and we'll see you on the next one.